It's been a few weeks, but the Everyday VOpreneur podcast is back, and I am looking forward to being back with you. Now, for those of you that are in the loop, you know why I was away for a few weeks, and I did send out an email and make a few posts about it, but maybe you're not on my list, or maybe you don't follow me on social media, and so you weren't aware of what was going on, but we had a baby, and she came 10 days early, very unexpectedly, and daddy wasn't planned far enough ahead for the podcast. And so the end result of that was having to take a few weeks off of the show so that I could get in extra dad snuggles. And I don't think anybody is going to fault me for that. So Kinsley Jade is here. She is doing fantastic. Mommy is doing fantastic. We're all thrilled to have her. Her big sisters are doing an amazing job of helping out as well. And it's been truly a blessing. But I am looking forward to starting to get back into the routine of things and bringing you more actionable, practical advice every week on this podcast. And this week, I'm going to give you some actionable, practical advice on LinkedIn. There's been a lot of changes that have been going on LinkedIn in 2024, probably more than I've seen, or at least more than I've noticed in the last couple of years, and big changes, significant changes. I recently updated my Making Money with LinkedIn Masterclass to reflect some of those changes, and I wanted to highlight a couple of the main ones very quickly for you in an episode because I think there are things that you need to know, and some of these changes will impact the way that you use LinkedIn, or at least they should impact the way that you use LinkedIn. So I've got 5 tips for you of things that you want to be paying attention to, of changes that have taken place in LinkedIn thus far in 2024. And the first one is actually a really positive change that has taken place on your profile. Now, if you go to your LinkedIn profile page, now keep in mind, I'm not talking about your news feed. I'm talking about your actual profile page. One of the things that I am loving right now is on the right rail of your profile page, you're going to notice more recommendations for people that you may know. This is a really easy, helpful way to find new leads, but it's only going to work if you're using LinkedIn the right way for your voiceover business. So what do I mean by that? If you're on LinkedIn and you are connecting with a lot of other voice actors on LinkedIn, then this people that you may know feature on the right rail of your profile is just going to show you a whole bunch more voice actors to connect with. That being said, if you're on LinkedIn and your primary focus is connecting with e-learning developers and instructional designers, and you're really working on growing out that side of your network, then in theory, what you are going to see on that right rail is more recommendations of people that you may know. This can be incredibly helpful because it is going to point you to other potential people that you are going to want to get connected with on LinkedIn. And so one of the things that we know about LinkedIn is that we're very limited with our search capabilities, particularly when we are on a free profile. And so there's only so many searches that you can do before you get cut off. Well, having this new feature on the profile page solves that problem. But let's take it one step further. We know that it is on your profile. So if you go to your LinkedIn profile page, it's going to show you more people that you may want to connect with based on who it thinks that you know, based on who you have been connecting with in the past. But it also shows up on everybody else's profile page. So if you find an instructional designer that you want to get connected with, and you go to the profile page for that instructional designer, it is going to show similar profiles to that instructional designer, which again becomes more lead generation that is happening for you automatically and giving you the ability to send out more connection requests and to grow your network in a more strategic way. So this is probably one of my favorite changes that has happened because I'm spending a lot less time looking for potentially good people to connect with to grow up my network. So keep an eye out for that one. Again, it appears on the right rail of the profile page, and that is going to be on your profile page or anybody's profile page. Now, the next thing that you're going to ask me about, though, because a lot of people are already aware of this, and this is definitely by far the number one question I've been getting asked about LinkedIn lately, is the changes to the personal notes. So let's talk about that. LinkedIn has always said that when you are sending a connection request, you should be attaching a personal note to that connection request. And they have pointed out in the past that connection requests that get sent with that personal note tend to get a higher acceptance rate. which makes sense. So all along, as I've been teaching LinkedIn, I've always taught the importance of using that personal note when you are setting your connection request. But LinkedIn has gone and made a major change. And so even though they acknowledge that it is important to use and they encourage you to use it, they are now limiting our ability to do it. But again, capitalism, hello. This decision made strictly as an effort to force us to try to upgrade or try to force us to upgrade to a premium profile. So if you are a free user on LinkedIn now, you are limited to 5 personal notes per month. And so because I've always taught to use it, and LinkedIn has always taught to use it, a lot of voice actors aren't sure what to do now. What am I supposed to do if I can't send personal notes to everyone? I'll tell you what I've been doing. It's kind of a workaround, not totally, but kind of a workaround. I've been sending the connection requests anyway. Everybody knows that this change happened. Everybody that's using LinkedIn knows that this change is happening, and everybody is feeling the pain of this change the same way. So at this point, to send connection requests without the personal note, I don't think anybody's going to think anything of it because they're in the same boat as we are. So I have not noticed any significant decline in the number of connection requests that I'm getting accepted. Maybe a little bit, but nothing significant. But here's what I'm doing. So I send the connection request anyway, but I make sure that every day I am coming back to LinkedIn and I'm clicking onto my network page and I'm clicking onto my connections because I can see in my connections list who has recently accepted the connection request that I've sent. So for anybody that I've sent a connection request to that did not get a personal note, as soon as I see that they have accepted my connection request, now I'm going to send them a personal note because I can do it through the LinkedIn messaging system. Once somebody is in your network, you have the ability to message them. So now I'm doing that step. I'm just doing it one step later. So once the connection request has been accepted, that's when I'm going to go to their profile, take a look through it, find something that I can use, that I can say, that I can mention to send them some sort of personal note. Thank you for accepting my connection request, and try to spark a conversation with them. So don't let this derail you. Don't let this prevent you from sending out connection requests. I know that I've always encouraged you to attach that personal note. LinkedIn has always encouraged you to attach that personal note, but we've got to adapt as the system changes. So this is one of the big changes that has happened, and that is the workaround that I've been using. And thus far, I would say it's working just about as effectively. So unless you're willing to spend the money to upgrade to premium LinkedIn, this is what you're going to have to do. Spend the money, upgrade to premium LinkedIn, then you don't have to worry about it because you can send as many personal notes as you want. Speaking of premium LinkedIn, I've never found a use case for me for spending the money on premium LinkedIn. And keeping in mind that when you convert premium LinkedIn to Canadian dollars, it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, like upwards of $100 a month. And so because of all the different workarounds that I've been able to find in the past for using LinkedIn, I've never felt like there was a use case for me to get the premium membership. I can still send connection requests. I'm still able to do direct messaging. I've found ways to work around search limitations. So I've got a bunch of tips and tricks and hacks for how to get more out of a free LinkedIn profile. And these are all the things that I teach in the Making Money with LinkedIn Masterclass. Something new is coming to LinkedIn Premium that is actually starting to make me think about, or at least explore a little more, the possibility of upgrading to a premium profile. And that is the amount of AI capability that is being built into LinkedIn now. They are making it possible for you with a premium profile to use AI in a lot of different places. Among them, you can use AI in your direct messages to help you write better messages and better notes, and do it right within the platform. Now, yes, you could use a third-party AI tool like Claude or ChatGPT if you wanted help with that, and then you could paste it. But this is functionality that's built right into LinkedIn direct messaging. There is also functionality that is being built into the platform that is going to help you with content creation and making suggestions for the types of content that you might want to create, or suggestions for content that you can create. And again, you can use third-party LLMs like ChatGPT to help you do some of this stuff. But if you want everything right within LinkedIn for complete ease of use, it's another consideration. So content creation, AI capability being built into the platform may be an attractive feature, I think, for two different groups of people. One, for people who are posting content consistently and maybe just need a little extra help to create that much content, or for voice actors who are not posting content consistently but want to, but they're not because they don't have any ideas. Then maybe you could use the AI to help you with some ideas and to up your content game. And the other place where AI suggestions are being introduced for premium members is with we'll call it the celebrate occasions. So when you go to your LinkedIn notifications tab, you'll see so-and-so is having a birthday, so-and-so has received a promotion, so-and-so has changed jobs, things like that. When you click on those, there are default messages that get typed. And when you send those default messages, nobody actually reads them. But now you could click on some of those and use AI to help you write a more custom, more personalized message. And so that's another way that you could potentially up your game. So if you are into the AI technology, or you want to be able to leverage those types of tools to help you up your game on LinkedIn a little bit, then considering the premium profile might be worth it for you. So that's number 3 on the list. Number 4 on the list is changes to hashtags. With creator mode, LinkedIn allowed you to attach hashtags to your profile. And the assumption was that these were the subjects that you were going to be talking about on a regular basis. And so then it was helping to make you more discoverable. Now that LinkedIn has made a lot of changes to creator mode, they're starting to make more changes to hashtags as well. And they're actually in the process of kind of eliminating them, or I guess maybe not eliminating them completely, but they're sunsetting the capabilities and the requirement for hashtags. So what does that mean? Right now, if you share a post on LinkedIn and you attach a couple of hashtags to it, those hashtags are still indexed. They're still clickable. So if I write a post that I'm targeting towards e-learning and I use hashtag e-learning and hashtag instructional designer in that post, when that post goes onto my profile, if I click hashtag e-learning from my post, it will bring up a feed that will show me all the content that is being shared on LinkedIn under hashtag e-learning. That functionality of hashtags still works. However, the general indexing functionality is no longer necessary. And the reason for that is because they're using AI. So in the past, when you wrote a post and you attached a couple of hashtags to it, that was how the algorithm recognized what that post was about and who it was going to push that post out to. Now they're using AI technology to do that. So when you write a post, AI is looking at that post and it is determining from the content that you share in that post who it is most appropriate to, and it's sending it to those people or pushing it to those people automatically. So you don't require the hashtags anymore in order to get your content in front of the right people. So at this point, you could still use it for indexing purposes, and I still see people that are doing it, but it's not necessary. And it sounds like LinkedIn is starting to move away from that because they're using AI technology. So if you still want to use your hashtags, go for it. LinkedIn has always suggested 3 to 5 at the most was the ideal amount. You can use more, but after you get beyond that, they don't have the same weight. They don't carry the same weight or carry the same level of effectiveness. But I still do search hashtag feeds on a regular basis as well, looking for leads and looking for content and looking for people that I ultimately want to connect with. So hashtag strategy is changing on LinkedIn. So that's something that I'll continue to pay attention to and something that you might want to pay attention to as well. So that's number 4 on the list. The 5th change that has happened on LinkedIn that you want to pay attention to is when it comes to posting links. All social media profiles, it doesn't matter. All social media platforms, rather. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook or if it's LinkedIn or if it's X or if it's Instagram or if it's TikTok, whatever. All social media platforms are designed to keep people on the platform for longer. The longer they keep people on the platform, the more engaged that people are, the more ads that they can push. All of these platforms at the end of the day are advertising networks. So if you are creating content that people are engaging with and that they are reading all the way through and that they are watching your videos longer, then your content is going to be rewarded by the algorithm because you are serving their objective of keeping people on the platform longer. So on the flip side of that, if you are linking to external content, then you're actually working against the algorithm. So if I share the latest podcast on LinkedIn, if I share a link to my latest podcast on LinkedIn, my organic reach for that post is going to get squashed significantly because I'm not meeting the objective of keeping people on the platform longer. I am pushing people off the platform. So if you get, and I'm just throwing out random numbers here, but let's just say that if you got 10% organic reach on LinkedIn for posts that keep people on the platform, 10% initial organic reach, you might get half or a third of that on the posts that are pushing people off the platform. And I can tell you from looking at my own analytics, if I share content on LinkedIn that keeps people on LinkedIn, I can very easily get multiple thousands of views on that content in a relatively short period of time. But if I share a link to the podcast, I might get 100 views on that post. So the workaround for a really long time was write the post, but don't put the link in the post. Put the link in the first comment. So I would write a post that says, hey, make sure you check out the latest episode of the podcast where I am sharing 5 different changes that are happening on LinkedIn in 2024 that you need to be aware of. And that's all I put in the post. But then in the first comment, that's where I share the link to the external site that has the podcast on it. This was the workaround. And people were getting away with it for quite a while, but LinkedIn has now caught on. And now they're actually punishing that, allegedly. So if you are sharing links in the first comment, the algorithm recognizes it, recognizes that you're pushing people off platform, and they're going to punish that post. Doesn't mean they're going to remove it or anything like that. It just means they're going to squash the reach of that post. And so now they're moving back in the other direction, which is they're saying just put the link in the post. You're still not going to get the same kind of organic reach that you would if you're keeping people on platform, but maybe it's not going to get punished quite as much. So this is not meant to be a discouragement. I am still going to continue to share links to my podcast. If you are a blogger, continue to share links to blogs. If you find really helpful articles that you think would be relevant to your audience, share those. Make that part of your content strategy. Just understand that they're probably not going to get quite the same level of reach as if you were sharing stuff natively within the platform. So that is to say, an example of that is you could write the blog and you could put the blog on your website and you could link to the blog from LinkedIn. And that's going to get a little bit of organic reach. You could also write that blog and put it as a long form post right within LinkedIn. And that's going to get a lot more organic reach. So then you have to ask yourself, what is my objective? Is my objective to drive traffic to my website, or is my objective to just get people to read the article? If the objective is to just get people to read the article, then maybe you consider posting the article as a post on LinkedIn rather than linking to it on your blog. Something to think about. Another great example of this would be if you're creating video content and you put the video on your YouTube channel and then you share the link to the YouTube channel on your LinkedIn versus uploading the video directly to LinkedIn. If you upload the video directly to LinkedIn, it's going to get a lot more views. If you link externally to YouTube, it's going to get less views. So just keep in mind, keep these types of things in mind when you're trying to determine your content strategy and figuring out what are my end objectives. Do I really need to take people off the platform, or could this actually be shared natively on the platform to get more eyeballs on it? Something to think about. And that, of course, brings me to a bonus feature, because you know me, if I say I'm going to do 5, I'm always going to do 6 because I've got to have a bonus. Since we were talking just now about video, I want to dive into video a little bit. By now, you are probably aware of what is going on in the United States with the potential TikTok ban. People have been talking about it for a long time. It's starting to look like it could become a thing. TikTok may go away in the United States. The legislation is out there. And so as that becomes a more real possibility, platforms are starting to figure out how they're going to respond to that. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do, because it obviously creates an opening If you're Instagram, Meta with Instagram and Reels right now, you are paying very close attention to this. If you are YouTube with Shorts, you're paying very close attention to this. And if you are LinkedIn, you are paying very close attention to this as well. And so I want to say it was probably about a year ago, maybe a little longer, LinkedIn dove really hard into video, and they were pushing native video on the platform very, very hard. And then they kind of got away from it. And it wasn't that they were discouraging it. They just weren't pushing it the same way. Video for a while was getting much higher organic reach, and then they kind of dialed it back. Well, now it sounds like they're moving back towards a video strategy again. And it is rumored that LinkedIn is testing a new video feed. So this would exist on mobile. It's been rolled out to a certain percentage of the LinkedIn user base now. I do not see it on my mobile device, but I have seen evidence of it with other people. They've shown the feed. So you would actually be able to click a video button, and it would just give you a video only feed of LinkedIn. But that is going to be for video content that is uploaded natively to the platform. So again, if you're linking externally, it's not going to work the same way. So if you are a video creator, particularly if you are a video creator who has built your platform on TikTok and you are now worried about what is going to happen, maybe you're thinking about Instagram Reels. Maybe you're thinking about YouTube Shorts. Maybe you're already doing Reels and Shorts, but it might be worth thinking about doing LinkedIn as well. Uploading those videos natively to LinkedIn. There's something to be said for getting that content out there. I've been working on a marketing strategy where I've been narrating videos that are designed to showcase my ability to do in-show narration and documentary style narration. So I've created these videos and shared them. I've been sharing them on Instagram, and I've been sharing them mostly on YouTube. I created a separate YouTube channel. I'm going to start uploading those videos natively to LinkedIn as well. I'm not going to link to my YouTube channel. I'm going to upload the videos directly to LinkedIn, and I'll play around with it and see whether or not I start getting some more organic reach. It's a never-ending experiment. But these are some of the changes that you want to be paying attention to with LinkedIn. I still think LinkedIn is the best platform for what we are trying to do as voice actors. I still stand by my statement that if I was only allowed to use one platform, you came to me and said, Mark, for the next year, you could only use one social media platform. Which social media platform are you going to use? I'm still going to choose LinkedIn every time. So pay attention to these changes. Let's just quickly highlight them one more time for you, just in case you forgot to write one down. So first and foremost, make sure that you are taking advantage of the people you may know recommendations that are appearing on all of the profile pages, because that is going to help you to find new leads. Pay attention to that. Don't sweat the personal note limit. Send a connection request anyway. Pay attention to when they accept your connection request, and then send them a direct message with the personal note that you would normally send, and try to spark that conversation. If you are thinking about upgrading to premium, there's a lot of different AI features and technology that is now being built into the premium profile. And so that may be a use case for you depending on your situation. You might want to explore that a little bit further. Hashtags are starting to go away. So one of the things that I would say with that is, if you're writing a post and you're no longer using hashtags to index it, make sure that there's a couple keywords in that post. So if you're writing a post that you want to target to e-learning, for example, or you want to target to instructional designers, whereas before you would put hashtag e-learning or hashtag instructional designer, now you're going to want to make sure that the word e-learning or the words instructional designer are written into the post so that the algorithm can recognize that, push it out to the right people. If you have been following the practice of linking to external sites by posting the link in the first comment, that is not working anymore, or at least not working as well. And so LinkedIn has gone back to just share the link in your post. Just know that you're not going to get quite the same level of organic reach. And if you are a video creator, or you've been thinking about becoming a video creator, then you are definitely going to want to, I think, make sure that you're including LinkedIn in that strategy and uploading those videos that you've been creating for some of the other platforms into LinkedIn natively, because it looks like they may be getting ready to start doubling down on video once again on the platform. So there you go. 6 changes that have happened on LinkedIn. Pay attention to these changes. It's going to help you to use LinkedIn and to use that platform more effectively for marketing your voiceover business.